As simple as it sounds, novelist Lucy Montgomery wasn't wrong when she wrote in her book a line which read, "How are you going to find out about things if you don't ask questions?" If you ask the right kind of questions, you can diagnose how you might be able to genuinely help and assist in one's business or life. The right questions can help you unlock and break down barriers so we can connect and understand others or the problem that needs solving. Our brain is like a virtual world with its own set of beliefs, experiences, and understanding. Its constructs get built over time with all the interactions we have. It's only when we understand what might be going on in the mind of another can we truly become present and come from a space of service to help and assist with the resolve. Join me on this journey as we talk to international speaker, business coach and best-selling author Mac Attram as he shares how to build rapport with your target market by taking the time to go into the world of your prospect's mind and make meaningful connections. Hi, I'm Jatinder Palaha and welcome to another Digital Rapport Master Series. And today we have international speaker, best-selling author and award-winning business coach, Mac Attram. So Mac, firstly, thank you very much for inviting us to your house and allowing us this time to have this conversation. If you'd like to just say a few words to the viewers about who you are, what you do.
I've trained literally thousands of people from all over the world. I travel internationally. Coaching and training them to build better businesses, grow their business, create financial freedom in their life, and personal development subjects as well as business development. So that's what I've been doing. And apart from that, you already mentioned I'm a best-selling author, international best-selling author of 3 books. I own several businesses. But outside of that, I'm a family man, I like to be with my family, I like to do stuff with my kids. We have 3 children, so I like to be with them. And that's what I do. I'm either doing business or I'm teaching and training other people to grow themselves or grow their business or grow their wealth, or I'm with my family. But my passion, you know this already, is martial arts. I love the martial arts. I've been training in that field for over 30 years now.
Your Taekwondo classes.
Taekwondo is a martial art that I've been doing for the last 16 years now. And I'm a 5th Dan black belt in that.
Oh, right, okay. All right, I didn't know. Another one. Cool. Now I appreciate that, Matt. What we're doing with this project is that we're going around interviewing people and talking to them about the subject of rapport, influence, how it works, why it works, and that kind of stuff. So just to begin the conversation, what would you say is rapport?
Ooh, what is rapport? That's a good question. I think for me, what rapport is building a relationship with someone who initially doesn't know you. They don't know who you are, they've never heard of you, no one's introduced you. You either want to build a relationship with them because maybe you want to have some transaction with them, whether it's a business transaction or a money transaction or relationship transaction. So rapport is getting to a place where they feel comfortable with you, you feel comfortable with them, and then that dialogue begins, and then that transaction can happen. It's not an easy subject to touch on, but I think that's what it is for me.
Right. I mean, because a lot of people touch on the subject of rapport, but they don't go deep into it. One of the things I feel like is quite important in the context of getting to know people, like you said, connecting with them and doing transactions and all that kind of stuff. If you were to go deeper into that, how important do you think rapport is?
I think rapport is absolutely essential. We are human beings, and if you're interacting with other human beings, often there is something you want or they want, and I think building that rapport earlier on helps. It makes the whole thing easy. Now, if we wanted to go really deep into this subject, I think when you meet someone for the first time, as I said, they don't know you, you don't know them. Whether it's a business thing or it's a social thing, the way I like to look at it is spend time to go into their world. right? So if I've just met you for the first time and we're just in conversation, I think one of the easiest ways to build rapport is to get an understanding who you are. So just go into your world. So tell me about you, Jatinder, and you will say this and talk about your family, or talk about your background, or talk about your hobbies, and just let me go into your world. What is Jatinder going through? What's his challenges? What was he up to? And if I can go into your world first, it shows that I'm interested in you. Right.
Yeah.
And I think more often than not, people, especially when they meet someone new, they want to be interesting.
Yeah.
I've done this and I've done that and I am this and I do this and and all that kind of stuff. But I think it often doesn't help. But if you go into their world and say from a business point of view, and I teach this as well, I say, look, when you're new to the marketplace, nobody knows you.
That's right, yeah.
So if nobody knows you in the marketplace and you need to go out there, you need to network, you need to go and meet people, then the easiest thing is to go and understand them. So if you find a prospect that you think, actually, you can help them, but how do you know you can help them? Okay, the only way you're going to find that out is spend time with them. And when you spend time with them, what have you got to do? You've got to ask them some questions. You've got to get to understand them. Tell me about your challenges in your business. Tell me what's going on. What happened. How many people you've got in your team. What's sales like. What's kind of challenges. What's operational challenges you are having. So by asking them those kind of questions and being interested in them, then they'll think, oh, actually, this person is nice. As the saying goes, that when people get to know you, like you, and trust you, then ultimately they'll do that transaction with you. Whether you want to go on a date with them, or whether you want to do some business with them, whatever it is. So I think on a deeper level, earlier on, they don't know you, you don't know them. So how do you break that? By asking questions, I think.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. You mentioned if they don't know you, they don't like you or trust you. Do you reckon they're kind of key components in the whole kind of process for building rapport?
Yeah, because ultimately the only reason why you want to build rapport is because you want something out of it, or they want something out of it. If people don't get to know you, like you, and trust you, then there's no way they're going to take that thing further. And we often want to do things with people who are similar to us. Someone wants to get into a relationship with someone, they start chatting them up and talking to them. You can tell them how wonderful you are, and some people like that. But if you just come from a human perspective and say and ask about them, spend time asking about them, what I've found is that if you're showing genuine interest in them, they're more likely to open up. So you're actually showing genuine interest. And then what happens is, I found is, I think what needs to happen is, as you're showing genuine interest, at some point they'll ask you about you, right? So they'll ask you about you, and that conversation happens. But one of the techniques I use in terms of really getting someone to understand that I actually care about you, I actually want to know about you, I want to know about what you're doing and how I can help you, is using a lot of verification questions.
Right.
All right. And what I mean is, they may say they like football. I like football, and that then may lead to just that thing, just that little thing. It's like, I've got 3 children. Oh, I've got 2 children.
Right.
Now suddenly, where we were apart, now we're getting closer. Now we're getting closer. So you've got 3 children. I've got 2 children. Tell me about them. How old are they? Right, they're this age. Then conversations carries on. What do they like doing? Mine likes doing badminton. Mine likes doing swimming. Now we're getting closer and closer. So those verification questions are very much, so you've got 3 children, or you like football, and what you're saying is this, what you're saying is your challenge in the business is this: you just can't get the right team together, or you just can't grow your sales. Is that what you're saying? It's like, yes. Okay, now we're getting closer. Yeah. So it shows that I've heard you.
Yep.
I've heard what you're saying. I've taken on board what you're saying, and being able to verify what you've said. That means I've actually listened.
Yeah.
Without those verification questions, it could be just, well, I understand, but by me saying it, it's like, oh, actually, this person's listening to me.
Yeah.
And as human beings, one of the things I think we're losing more and more is what I'm finding is people don't feel that they've been heard.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So you may have experienced it yourself. Have you ever been speaking to someone and you're just having a conversation with them, and you can see that physically they're there, right? Physically they're sitting next to you, or physically they're standing next to you. Your eye contact, but when you look at them, you can see mentally they checked out. They're just not in the same place as you.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. And that goes on a lot. Or sometimes you're talking to someone, then suddenly the mobile phone goes off and
distracted.
Yeah. And so that all those things break rapport. It breaks rapport, because then they think, oh, actually you're more interested in the phone than you are in me. Or you're talking to someone and you can see they're looking somewhere else. They're looking in a business networking situation, for example. Maybe someone may have caught their eye, so suddenly the rapport's broken, and you can see that actually they want to go off. So often, that'll probably end that conversation, because you can see they're distracted, like you said.
That's quite interesting as well, about the whole breaking of the rapport, because on one side you got that whole thing about like knowing your target audience, if you want to say, and whoever you're talking to, and long as you know them, you understand them, you can create that conversation around it. But as soon as you're kind of like, not interested, you break away from it. Right. So it's interesting to hear that knowing who you're talking to is a very important part, because knowing them then allows you to understand them, like you said, potentially provide them with a solution to a problem. On one side of it, in order to know your target audience, you need to know where they're coming from.
Yes.
Right. And what you're talking about here is based around that.
Definitely, because let me give you an incident of, I've had many clients, and sometimes they are new to business, and they don't know, they got no clients, they want to get clients on board. Mac, how can I do it? I said, look, the marketplace doesn't know you. So you've got to build rapport with the marketplace. All right, not only that, but where's your money going to come from? The money's going to come from other human beings. They may be a business owner, or they may be this person or that person, but that's another human being. So you have to now find a way of helping that other human being, although they may have a business, or they have a social thing, or they have a family challenge or whatever. How can you help them? So like I said earlier on, go into their world. So some of my clients, sometimes I say to them, look, the marketplace doesn't know you. You've got a lot of time on your hands. You're not inundated with clients. So what type of client do you want to work with? And so let's identify it. So once we identify it, then I say, okay, go and do something for them for free. Right? So if they have an office and you're a computer networking engineer, just say, look, just be honest, call them up. I'm new to the marketplace. I'm looking for more clients, but at the moment, I can help you out for free. I've got a lot of time in my hands. I'm phoning around the local area. Companies like yours say, look, I'm just going to come and do 1 hour diagnostics for you, or I'll just come and do a troubleshoot for you. You go in there, speak to whoever's in charge. They've allowed you to come in. You're going to do a great service for them. And now you're in their world. So now you're looking at their computer systems, and you can see that this is not connected to that. That's not connected to that. So you ask them a question. Tell me about your backup system. What backup? Oh, you don't have a backup system. So now you're in their world. They don't have a backup. The cabling is all over the place. Now you're speaking to the staff. So you say, I just want to have a quick look at the computer. Is everything okay? And they'll say, no, my computer keeps crashing every single day. I have to reboot it. Or they say, I keep having these pop-ups and these viruses coming up. It's been there for years. So you're new in the marketplace. Now, what are you doing? You're building rapport with individuals in that company.
That's right.
You're building rapport with the company. You're building rapport with a business owner who ultimately, if you are giving him, after you've spent an hour there or 2 hours or a whole day, it doesn't really matter because you've got no clients anyway. You've got time. So after that, you say, look, I've done some diagnostics. You're speaking to the business owner. This is what I've seen.
Yeah.
If you don't get it repaired, it's going to affect your business performance, your productivity and everything else. I'm more than happy to help you. How's your current supplier? How are they looking after you? And then you're going to get a truth now, aren't you? You're going to say, yeah, we don't really see them. They charge us every month, but we don't really see them. So now you think, well, here's a possibility.
Yeah.
Now, if you're using the techniques we're talking about here in terms of asking them questions, you've gone into their world, tell me about what happens when your computers go down. How much do you think that costs you? And I say, it cost us probably, I've got this person working there, this person working there, that person working. Probably, half a day, that's probably costing us about £1,000.
Yeah.
All right, so you're asking them these questions, they're telling you these things.
Yeah.
I think, wow, this guy's asking me some really good questions. I'm kind of liking this guy.
Yeah.
Then, they're getting to know you. At some point, they say, tell me what you do. So that's the magic word.
Yeah.
Tell me what you do.
Yeah.
If you ever find someone says to you, in that situation, tell me what you do, now it's like, I talk about coming together.
Yeah.
Now you're coming together even more. So now you tell them what you do. I'm a computer consultant or whatever the title is, I don't know. What I do is I was working for all these companies, but I wanted to set up on my own, and so usually computer consultants charge this amount of money, and because I'm new to the marketplace, I'm doing an introductory fee.
Yeah.
If you want me to look after your computers, I can do that. Now, if that company is being charged, thousands of pounds or dollars or whatever, and you're coming into the marketplace and you've identified all these issues. What are they going to say?
Exactly.
They're going to give you a trial.
That's right.
At least, right?
Yeah.
So if you can build that rapport in terms of what I'm saying, so go into their world.
Yeah.
Ask them lots of questions. Be interested, generally interested into them, in them, rather than being interested in yourself and talking about all the things you want to talk about. And use a lot of verifying questions, so they get to know you, not just on a business level, but on a human level.
Yeah.
You like football, I like football. You've got kids, I've got kids. You play you play badminton, I play badminton. You don't have to, even if they say they play badminton and you don't play badminton, you say, all right. So you really, how long have you been doing that? Blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I love sports as well. I do martial arts, and I've been doing that for over 30 years.
Yeah.
So now you have a sport in common.
Exactly.
Right? So all that leads to what we call a shared reality. A shared reality. So we, because of all the verification questions I've been asking and all the conversation we're having, now we have a shared reality. That means you're the same as me.
Sure.
And if you're the same as me, now we've come together. It's like, okay, now I know this guy, I like this guy, I trust this guy. This person.
That's it. That's it. Really, really interesting. It's like the very, very act of getting to know them. It's like unpacking and uncovering things that they, like in that business scenario, may not have actually known themselves that had their issues with. So by just asking them and showing interest, you now almost like pattern interrupt, isn't it? Because they're going about their daily routine, and you've come in and said, what about this and this? That's right. And you've shown them a way to be more efficient at it. So therefore it's like, wow, this person knows what he's talking about. He's helping us out. It's creating, like you said, it's that likability, it's creating trust. And then when those things come together, it's almost like saying, we'll give you a go. That's right. That's right. That's interesting on it. So that the whole element of that likability and trust is very key, would you say, in the whole kind of rapport process? Yeah, and not only in a live scenario, but I think nowadays a lot of digital work that happens, and more people are creating videos and creating the digital text or whatever, emails, and they're sending all these things out. And I think it still comes to play that
the people who are going to be watching your videos, the people who you're going to interact with digitally, the same thing applies. I think. How do you take that from a live scenario into a digital scenario? I think you can, although they're not there with you live, if you set things up in a way that you are, maybe you did a video and below it you say, look, tell me about some of the challenges you're having with this subject. Now you're asking the questions.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
And so the next video you can say, some of our viewers will be talking about this. Let me talk about that for a moment, share my experiences of it. And now you're verifying what they've said. You said this is what they said, and you've got an answer to it. So all that rapport, it's harder to build, digitally, but I think it's just as important.
That's right, yeah.
Because if anyone's going to buy anything from you or they're going to interact with you, then they're looking at, generally, what are they looking for? My friend calls it, he calls it image match.
Image match, okay.
He's one of my friends, Glenn, he's a marketing consultant. He says image match, that if people will go for image match before they look at the facts. So they're looking at, is this person that I'm watching the video of, is he the same as me, or is she the same as me? Not in a sense, do they look the same as me? No, it's just in terms of what they're talking about, and their experiences and their challenges. Is it the same as what I've been going through? So if this person's if there is an image match, that rapport now, it's not far away. It's building forward. That's another aspect on a digital front.
No, absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up as well, because one of the things we're exploring is, in that kind of one-to-one conversation, it's different. You got the body language going on, you got tone going on, you can get a feel and a vibe of what's happening with the individual. And online that doesn't necessarily happen.
No.
But it's very important to get the like you said, know your target audience kind of element across, the kind of trust building element, the kind of authority status element as well. So people, like I said, they get to know you, they like you, they trust you. And then all these things are very important, because if people don't understand that that's how you connect with a human being offline, how are you going to do it online? There's no way, because you haven't really, most people, like from my experience with like web and things like that, it's usually like a client comes to you and says, oh, I've got this product service, or I've got this business, I need a website. And that's all they do, and they say, we can do this, we can do that, we can do that.
Right.
And from experience, we've identified that when you're online, the person doesn't really care. The internet is like a massive search engine.
That's right.
Now people are looking for things, so they need to be able to then find what they're looking for, and that's where this whole kind of, like you said, this process is very important, because they need to know these things before they can actually open up and then say, okay, this looks trustworthy, and come on board with what you say. I mean, you've done quite a bit of digital stuff as well, and what kind of things are you working on at the moment on that side?
What kind of thing? We've created a membership site that works quite well. Working on videos, we're still working on that more. There's more work to be done. Things are changing pretty rapidly in terms of how people want to view videos now, and what they want to hear, and the length of the videos. So we're doing some research around that. But essentially, when we send out emails, I think what we're working on is just talking to one individual, so that it becomes very targeted, and they feel like it's not a mass email, although it's a mass email that you're talking to them. And so for us, over a number of years, we've been working on what is that message we're saying, and who are we saying it to? And so then our followers know that this is a subject we're talking about, and it's of interest to them. Because as you know, and I know, that not everybody will be a client. Not everyone is everyone could be a prospect, but not everyone's a potential client. And that's okay. Just work on the people who have an image match to you, and they like what you're saying.
Online tribe kind of.
And so very much more and more it's about building that online tribe, and people who love you, and they trust you, and they know you, and they like you. The same thing, the same principles. And then they just they're willing to follow you, and they're willing to hear from you, and they want to know how you're doing and how you can help them. So so all that thinking is so important.
It's interesting that you're talking about how when you send an email out to people, it's like you said, it's focused on that one person.
Yeah.
And that relates it back to what you said at the beginning about, if you're showing interest.
Yeah, definitely.
It kind of links there, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. It still flows because, human beings, from a natural point of view, they are, whether we like it or not, we are interested in ourselves, right? We want to know how someone else can help us. And if you're sending out an email just talking about how great you are and what you've done this or that, but show them how you can help them.
Yeah.
Show them what's in it for them.
Yeah.
And so, there's I can't remember which book it was, WIIFM or whatever.
Yeah, WIIFM, yeah.
What's in it for me?
That's right, yeah.
So at the back of, all our minds as human beings, what's in it for me? What's in it for someone gets an email, the first thing they want to know is what's in it for me?
Yeah.
What am I getting out of this? So what does the subject line say?
Yeah.
Now, is it worth me reading on?
Yeah.
What's in it for me?
If we get a bit controversial on the point as well, do you reckon when all these techniques, if you want to call them that, or this understanding we have, can to some degree end up being used in a manipulative way maybe? What are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, I think we talk about from an email point of view or from just copy.
I think both. I mean, I think it could probably happen offline as well as online, right? But, I mean, we know in the online world there's a lot of hoo-ha, a lot of fake social proof and all these kind of things, right? So
and that happens a lot. But even with this fake social proof, what happens is eventually, if you're trying to build a tribe, if you're faking things, you'll make some sales to a certain extent. But if you want longevity, then be upfront with people, be honest and open with people. For those who are faking these things, there's an element of greed there. They just want money now, but eventually it catches up with you, and then you've got nothing. So why don't you just be honest and say, this is what I'm doing, and this is the reason why I'm doing it. There are some techniques you can use both digitally and live in a live scenario. And yes, some people can take those techniques and manipulate people. I don't believe in that. But I think if you want to build a tribe, then it's a case of using those. You can use the same techniques, but all you're doing now is leading them down a path where they're saying, actually, I want to go there. And I trust you as a trusted source, as an expert, to take me down that road. When you create an email, one of those techniques is what's in the subject line. And so the subject line is only designed so that they can open an email and read what's going on. Is that manipulative? Well, no. If the subject line is truthful, maybe it says 7 things you need to know about X. What is it? What are those 7 things I need to know about? I want to know about X.
That's right.
Okay, I'll open it. But if you're the person that actually, I don't want to know about X, you don't open the email.
That's right.
But I'm grateful to a lot of people in the past who've used different techniques, whether it's sales techniques or influence techniques, because it's helped me to actually get out of my own head and say, I never thought about it that way.
That way,
Now you put it that way, actually, now I want to learn this subject, or I want to know more about this, because you put it in a different way. And maybe someone said the same thing, but I didn't see the point. So if you're using influence or techniques of influence to genuinely help people, I think that's all good.
I think that's the main key that we were drawing from that, because like you said, when you're offline, you're building that trust, and then also, like when you were talking, you just reminded me about how Bruce Lee used to say, honestly express yourself, right? So being honest in your communication, and how important and key that is, because you're right, when you come from genuine space, it's more a place from serving than the greed element of it, right? People come from that greed angle. What do you think's driving that? Why do you think people do that?
I think it's a short-term view. I don't agree with it. I think the reason why they do it is they want money now, and they're willing to manipulate people for that money now. And sometimes it's a case of low self-esteem, that they don't feel within themselves that they can be honest and genuine about these things. And so they'll rather come across fictitious and make more of it than it actually is, so it's not genuine. So I think sometimes a case of low self-esteem, a case of greed, and some people are just unfortunately horrible, nasty people. Some people are like that.
Yeah.
That it's their makeup, it's their way. It's the way they've always done things. And I can give you so many examples of people who have just stolen stuff, even stolen stuff from me,
right,
intellectual property, all this kind of stuff, and then regurgitated it to sell.
Right.
And so that's another element of greed.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do something like that, at least speak to the source and say,
exactly.
can I use your material or whatever? And greed, when you talk about greed, for me, that is another element of fear. You know, I'm going to be greedy. I'm going to grab as much as I can because it's that thought of scarcity that
loss or
I may not get this again, or let me grab as much as I can. Whereas my mindset is more of abundance. Like, everybody can win.
Yeah,
everybody can succeed.
Yeah.
I can collaborate with you. You can collaborate with me or this person, and let's all win together.
Yeah.
And not everybody has that mindset.
That's true.
So, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, that's a good point because it's a brilliant way to break rapport, right? Because eventually it'll catch up, like you said.
Definitely.
And then, so that's quite key as well. So, Matt, when you're offline and you're communicating with people, I mean, there's all these other elements that come into play about body language, tonality, and things like that. What do you want to add on to all that side of it in regards to rapport?
Interesting question. Thank you. In a sense of building rapport, I think in any kind of communication, we know that 70% of all communications is not verbal. It's body language. It's physical.
Yep.
So if that's the case, then from a body language point of view, without even studying body language, just what I say to people would be present with the other person.
Yeah.
And if you're looking tense, they can obviously they see there's something not quite right. If you're relaxed, they'll be relaxed, and without going through many techniques of mirroring and all this kind of stuff. Like we sit in very much in rapport, because we've known each other for a while. But sometimes it's not going to be like that. You go and meet someone, and the language is different. They're not relaxed. They feel tense, and you can always see that someone is relaxed when they come out of this and they suddenly start leaning in, or they say, tell me more, and they're really interested. Just watch your body language to build rapport.
That's just as important.
Your body language is there as well as their body language. I'm not talking about just the way you're sitting or standing. Let me give you a scenario. Let's say I get invited to a there's a company I don't know. Let's call it Morgan Stanley. And then the Morgan Stanley, I get someone says, I want to invite you to see the directors, the CEO and directors. Now, those people will not be, like this, right? So you then need to know, okay, Morgan Stanley, CEO, the other directors, now you've got to consider how you're going to dress. So dress becomes, or attire that you're wearing becomes important. Type of shoes you have on becomes that important. And you take it even further, like if you get invitation to the royal household, to Buckingham Palace, not to go for tea, but I'm talking about to the Queen. Right? There's a protocol in terms of dress. If you're going to build rapport with the Queen, then you better find out.
That's right. Exactly.
You better find out what you can do and what you can't do. And someone told me that, look, there is a protocol, and you can't shake the hand unless you've been offered the hand. So if you just go and put out your hand, are you building rapport or are you breaking rapport?
Exactly.
Right?
That's very important.
So you've got to know. So in regard to that, apart from your physical, your body language, you see your physical appearance in terms of attire, as well as the environment. What environment am I going into? If I'm meeting someone in a coffee shop, then I know the environment is going to be pretty relaxed. If I've been invited to the boardroom to do a presentation, I better find out what type of company this is. How do they dress?
Yeah.
You know, if I'm invited to Google, I know it's going to be pretty casual. I can wear what I like.
Sure.
But if I get invited to IBM to see the directors, it's a different.
That's right.
It's a different dress code, right? So environment is critical as well.
So how you basically show up is very important as well.
Yeah. From a rapport point, it's so important. And also, one of the things I've discovered is this, that from a rapport building point of view. One of my business partners, also a mentor of mine, his name is Blair Singer, and he wrote a book called Sales Dogs.
Right.
And Sales Dogs, what he says in that book is that, he puts us human beings or salespeople or business people as a type of dog.
Right.
You know, like the Chihuahua or the Labrador or he calls it the Golden Retriever rather. If you imagine we're all different type of dogs, when you are meeting someone who's a certain personality type, if you like, he calls it sales dogs, but a person's personality type, it's good to understand what type of personality they are.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if that person has a personality where it's very much the way Blair would put it, like a poodle, and you can always spot a poodle because of the kind of sharp suit they wear. And for ladies, it's they're really glamorous and their hair's done in a certain way, and they're wearing the latest outfits, and their heels, their heels are that tall. That's a poodle because they always look in the mirror themselves.
Right.
So if that's a poodle and you are what he calls like a Chihuahua, and a Chihuahua is very scruffy, and they always want to know the analytics, and the poodle is very much different. They just want to, hey, how you doing? And that's how they sell this. Yeah, so tell me about this, and the Chihuahua is very much, tell me the facts. So what's the percentage of this and percentage of that? And if the poodle doesn't talk that language, there is no rapport.
Yeah, yeah.
So the technique there is, okay, I'm a poodle. I'm going to see a Chihuahua. I'm sitting there and I'm figuring out, this personality is more of a Chihuahua.
Right.
Okay, so now I know that the kind of questions he's asking me, it's all numbers based. He wants the facts. He wants the research. So now I need to get my laptop out and show him all the research on this and the graphs and all the.
Yeah.
So I have to now change my personality to match. The other person, otherwise there's going to be no deal. There's no transaction because we're talking different ways, different languages.
So you have to create this kind of synergistic kind of environment between the two people.
And so that's so essential for building rapport. Understanding their personality types. So if you don't understand personality types, there's so many out there. Study them. Get the Sales Dogs book. Read that. That's why I suggest to people, and then you'll understand that. And this is where I was leading to it. Then he has a dog personality type called a big dog.
Okay.
And the big dog is not a poodle, it's not a golden retriever, it's not like a Chihuahua. This big, imagine a kennel of dogs.
Yeah.
And you got all these other dogs, right? You know what a big dog is?
It's like the alpha, right?
Yeah, it's the alpha.
Yeah.
Now you're going to meet the alpha, but you're a little Chihuahua. So how are you going to build rapport with that alpha? Because if you can't do it instantly, quickly, there is no deal. Right? And so once you know that's the big dog, now you have to play the big dog. Right? So you have to go into their world still, and how do the big dog talk? They're very sharp to the point. Tell me that I've only got 10 minutes. 10 minutes, tell me. So I understand you've got 10 minutes, but you've got to now match their energy. Right? As the big dog. Because they will growl, and if they growl, you're going to take it and say, but hold on a second, let me explain this to you. You didn't actually understand the number. Now you've got to step up. Are you going to step up, or are they going to take you down? And so these big dogs sometimes will intentionally put you down for you to know who the alpha is. Then what you're going to do?
That's really interesting. So it requires a kind of element of adaptability, right?
Absolutely.
Very dynamic in that sense.
And it's not, it's good that you're teaching this stuff, or you're studying this stuff and you're researching this stuff, because not many people have done this kind of research, and there's a lot to it. I mean, I remember many years when I first got into business, I didn't understand all of this, and I'll get a prospect, I'll go and see the prospect, and when I think about it now, the reason why I didn't get a sale, there was no match. Because I'll just take as what they say, and I'll say what I need to say, and there was no energy there, and
got it. Yeah.
But over time, I got to learn.
Yep. It's interesting because you were talking about personality types. It's like if you like flipping when you go online, for example.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only certain kind of modalities you can work with.
Yeah.
In the sense that you got obviously the way you write something, like a headline, for example.
Yeah.
The way you present on camera.
Yeah.
The tone you use on camera as well. All of these kind of things actually has an impact on the listener.
Definitely.
What I'm getting from this is, if you've done the research on the person, you've understood them, you've gone into their world, like you said, right? And therefore you can relate to them. So therefore then you come across in that manner online, which is binary.
Yeah.
Right? So you're kind of targeting that particular
Absolutely.
niche, if you want to call it.
Absolutely.
Then your chances of actually connecting with them are a lot better.
Much higher.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Your chances of connecting with them, and your chances of getting them to follow you or want to do a transaction with you, much higher.
Yeah.
Why? Because you understand, you've gone into their world, you're talking their language, that rapport is built.
Yeah.
I was watching it. Someone sent an email this morning that I read it. I don't know who this person is. Watch this video on I think it was about tax.
Okay.
I thought, okay, I'm interested in tax. Let me have a look. So the subject headline was good.
Yeah.
Click on the video, and it went to YouTube, and the lady had a shrill voice. Oh my goodness.
Right.
I can't listen to this.
Interesting.
So it was like 10 seconds. I turned it off, and I was just got on with what I just, the subject may have been good, but I just couldn't listen to that voice.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah, definitely. It's just that's really, because when you're online, you can't really adapt that. If somebody's recorded a video, it's too late, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I tell you what happened. The first minute was that person still setting up.
Oh, okay.
Something. You've just taken a minute away. They were still doing the mic check, still doing the headphone check. I'm thinking, what's going on?
Wow.
That was the first minute. So I fast forward, I just scrolled forward a bit to listen to, there's more meat, and then the way she was talking and the stuff, she probably had good stuff.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't put myself through the pain.
Right.
So already rapport is
It's
cut, and I've just gotten back to something else.
Yeah. So that does go to show that, like we were talking earlier on about how you're showing up in a way. You were saying you could be dressed up for a certain way, for example, depending on who you're meeting. I suppose online, those kind of things would be, the video, the way you're on video, the way your website looks, for example.
Yeah.
All these things do have an influence. They
Definitely.
do influence you in how you interact with that.
Definitely.
Particular thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it all adds up.
Yeah.
If nowadays we know Google, whatever Google says you are, that's who you are.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And so if Google says this person is this, and let me research a bit more, and I click through there, and I go to their website, and it doesn't talk the same thing, then I click on something else, and it talks about something, then all that's lost because there's no consistency, there's no congruency.
Yeah.
So from a digital perspective, you can lose a prospect at a lot of different stages.
That's like the customer journey that they're taking then, right?
Exactly.
So that's interesting because you've got a flow, and if you break the flow, you're basically breaking rapport.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's really cool. What I'm taking away from this is like the kind of key important things, So we're getting, like you said, get present. Presence is quite important, right? Yeah. You're saying understand, know the target, know the person, understand where they're coming from, their needs, go into their world, is what you're saying. And then find familiarity as well, because that's how you're saying, that the likability side, you kind of connect on that level.
That's right, yeah.
So you're building trust.
Yeah.
We got the integrity element into it, being honest, not doing the fake kind of stuff, right? The way you then lead them through the conversation is quite important. Because, like I said, asking the right questions allow you to identify what their issues and problems are.
That's right.
Then you can question them. Questions is very important to figure out what they're currently doing and whether it's working for them or not. So in a way, you're possibly identifying more than they actually even understood.
True. Yeah.
And then doing that is then also positioning you as an expert, almost an authority in your understanding.
Definitely.
Which then deepens the connection and rapport. And then that can lead on to further kind of work, transactions, relationships long term, building a tribe and things like that.
Absolutely.
Is there anything you want to add to that?
No, it's all good. Well summarized. Yeah. Absolutely. I think the key thing is having that, getting them to a place of familiarity that actually we're friends.
Yeah, friends. That's right. Yeah.
We're actually friends,
Yeah.
and because you know me.
Yeah.
You're following me. All my updates you're liking.
Yeah.
And now we're friends, so if we're friends and I say to you, look, I have this offer, and I've only got 20 spaces. If you want one, go and get one.
Yeah.
If you trust me, it's actually an easier sale.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good. I think you encapsulates it very well.
Cool. So Mac, is there anything else you want to say to the viewers? How can they get in touch with you, find out more about you?
Oh, good question. So generally people find me, they type my name into Google and they see what I'm up to, or they go to my website, macattram.com. Okay. They can find me there, or Facebook or LinkedIn, all the social media, they'll find me there, Instagram, all the likes, Twitter. So whichever way really, and if I can support in any way, I'm more than happy to do that. My apart from running businesses and being with my family, my life mission, which has been the same since 2005, so over 12 years now, has been the same for 12 years. My life mission and purpose is to inspire, educate, and empower people to live a life of joy, courage, passion, and purpose. And as long as I'm doing that and helping people, then I'm living my life. I'm fulfilling my mission. And so when you say, look, let's have a let's do this interview, does it inspire, does it educate, does it empower? It does all three. Then I'll do it. I get requests every single day for this project, that project, that, and most of my time is spent saying no, because there's only so many hours in a day, and I need to put it somewhere. So if I can help at all, just reach out. That's fine.
Awesome. So Mac, thank you very much.
You're
I really
welcome.
appreciate your time and everything you shared today. And thank you.
Thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you
all
very
right.
much.